Be here at 3 o'clock at 12:30. Dining with Dom is operational now. The lighting leaves something to be desired, Mr. DeMille, but that'll be corrected right before your eyes if you're dining with me today. And I have a juicy that you're not going to hear anywhere else about Larry Krasner. Now, Thursdays are always Krasner Land Day. So today at 4 o'clock, we are loaded up, including the theft or attempted theft of 750,000 dimes here in Philadelphia. You heard Dawn just talking about that a moment ago. And a la Joey Coyle, the back door open and the dimes are flooded there in Northeast Philadelphia with the police having to close off various areas. The Krasner note is this, though. A lot of you have been asking. All right. And I know people get upset. You got to realize these are not easy things to do to stop Krasner. So, we've impeached Krasner, right? And people are saying, well, then why doesn't the Senate hold the trial and get him out of there? Okay. Some of that is the Republicans in the Senate, but I'm told that that hurdle may be cleared. Krasner, Dan, is appealing the impeachment to the state Supreme Court. And he's holding things up because Krasner, I wonder what the Philadelphia Inquirer thinks about this. Well, they don't know, Dan, so that's why. Krasner is trying to take Kevin Doherty off this hearing over impeachment. Now, Doherty, yes, is the brother of Johnny Doc, who's up in another trial at some point here in the near future that will play into the mayor's race, I think. But Kevin Doherty, I got to say, I've criticized him before in some things, but was courageous when he went after Krasner by name. And he's the one that wrote the opinion for the state Supreme Court in the case of Officer Ponnell. I might ask John McNesby about that. It's rare for the Supreme Court justice to be the one that writes it by name. Usually it's some kind of consensus thing. So Krasner is trying to remove him from the state Supreme Court around the issue of the impeachment of Larry Krasner. Newsflash, Larry, just always remember, Larry Krasner, you're still impeached. And, Dan, I think people think, well, come on, Dom, that doesn't bother him. You know what? I don't care who you are, deep down, probably Trump too. For all time in the record books, you are impeached.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I'd clean my glasses, that smug face that he does, the whole thing and all too. I would do that too. But deep down, I'm thinking, yeah, they impeached me. I'm still impeached. And that's only the first time. Maybe we'll get another whack. Maybe he'll be a 3-time impeached Larry Krasner. So I haven't seen this anywhere else. That's what's going on here in Harrisburg. And at some point, they're going to rule the impeachment stands. And then Larry Krasner will have to try to delay some more. I don't think he'll be able to. It'll go back to the state Senate, and we'll see what they do with it. I can't tell you he's going to be voted out of office. I know all the things that get in the way. And Dan, I committed a cardinal sin.
What'd you do?
A cardinal sin. I didn't fully commit it. I think it's not a mortal sin. It would have been a mortal sin, but I only made it a venial sin. We like this guy, Jim Harity, right? This new Democrat, seemed to be a moderate Democrat, right? From Kensington. We had him on. He's a former alcoholic. He says it, and he beat that. And he is someone who does not want the safe injection site. So I think I sent it to you to try to get him on. Because on Twitter today, he's touting an endorsement. He's running for at large to be city council again, represents Kensington of all places. Who is it that endorsed Jim Harity?
Larry Krasner.
Yes, an endorsement from Larry Krasner.
Why? Why would you post that?
Yeah, I mean, if you look,
there was 2 positive comments on the tweet that he posted out there. One from the Young Democrats of Philadelphia. And the other from the Democratic Party of Philadelphia. Yeah. Everybody else was trashing him for it.
Let's see if come on. He was a man. He came on before. Here's the point. I don't want to be one of those guys who says you can't trust any Democrat under any. Sometimes I do say that on the air. Vote them all out, from dog catcher, cat catcher, rodent catcher, all the way up to the presidency. Just vote against every one of them. You see the D, you got to vote against them. You're right. How does this guy, Dan, who we're trying to embrace as a Democrat we could talk with here, right, in this manner, touts that he's got Larry Krasner's endorsement?
I don't get it, because just last week he had a hearing where he laid into
Yes,
Krasner for
about the retail theft.
Yeah.
So look, if Krasner still endorsed him and all that internally, you got to do what you got to do. He's in the Democrat Party. I get that. But you don't put that up on Twitter and think we're not going to see it. Jim Harity, give us a call, buddy. Time for confession. Time to hear you out. Otherwise, I got to say, I feel like Paulie. Now I got to turn my back at the end of Goodfellas. $3,200 for a lifetime. People that know it. Got to turn my back.
Yeah, I really like what this guy had, because he's also very anti-safe injection sites, and that runs counter to Krasner's politics.
Exactly.
As
well. All right, but Dan has been working overtime on putting together something. I didn't even know there was any sound. The mayor's race is heating up. As I say, John McNesby will be here. Last night, the dam is finally broken. They were going after Helen Gim. All right. Particularly Sherelle Parker and others. It was a crime forum. And apparently, Dan, the people at the forum didn't want them to be going back and forth. Who are these people in Philadelphia that don't want us to get to the heart of the matter about who's going to be mayor?
I don't get it.
Yeah, you can do this in a manner that's fitting. I mean, I could moderate that in a heartbeat. Imagine Helen Gim. Oh, yeah, he agrees to it. Change of direction. Tonight, the moderator will not be, it will not be David Muir. It'll be Dom Giordano. All right. Here's which one you want to play first?
So I have a couple cuts, Dom. I'll let you choose.
Yes.
I have Jeff Brown. He was talking about Kensington, and he said that we need to clean up Kensington.
Yeah, let's go with that. Yes,
let's go. Helen Gim really shows her true colors once again by calling him
Captain Obvious. Yes, let's hear it.
Reinstitute drug court. We're not playing around. All of Kensington needs to be cleaned up in 120 days. As fast as we can get slots, we need to clean it up, because it just can't continue like this anymore.
All right, Helen Gim's response.
So I don't actually think we're going to be able to scold our way out of one of the biggest drug crises in our entire city. Thank you, Captain Obvious. We all know that the situation around Kensington is devastating. Here's what doesn't work: a single approach. Here's what also doesn't work: a top-down approach. Here's what another thing that doesn't work: not including community members in being part of the solutions about livability and about cleanliness and about restoring neighborhoods for neighbors.
My God, and look, Dan, thank God I'm not in it. That's in my opportunity. Captain Obvious, I'm interrupted right there. And she says, don't interrupt me. Say, hey, lady, I'm interrupting you. I don't need a bullhorn. My voice is loud enough.
Funny you say that, Dom, because next up we have a cut of Sherelle Parker when they were asked about their relationship or potential relationship with the FOP.
Yes.
We'll play some of Sherelle's answer, but then she kind of delves into an attack on Helen Gim. Take a listen.
The mayor's relationship and interaction with all municipal unions, police, fire, 3347, they are essential. But this question you asked, Chris, this is about Act 111. And everything that is negotiated via collective bargaining is governed according to what is allowable by that state law, Act 111. Now, in order to do that, it would help if you want to make some adjustments and changes, like Chairwoman Donna Bullock, chair of the Pennsylvania Legislative Black Caucus, who led the effort in Harrisburg to make changes to Act 111 in accordance to that statewide advocacy that was coming from mayors across the Commonwealth to do exactly what Derek Green just mentioned. However, you can't do that if when you are going to Harrisburg, you forget that it is a bicameral body. You can't go to get something passed in the Senate, and Vincent Hughes, our appropriations chairman, will tell you if in fact, you're going to roll around on the floor and use a bullhorn and shout at the senators and tell them how morally bankrupt they are. But by the way, I need you to help me pass legislation to amend Act 111 and/or send some resources back to Philadelphia. I spent 10 years there. I found my way to the bathroom and delivered big for the city of Philadelphia on some very important issues. And we need an intergovernmental approach to making some changes that we need to make, but we can't do it without changing state law.
Very compelling speech.
Yes. Did Helen Kim have any response to that?
No, after they had a close-up of Sherelle giving that answer, they showed the entire stage, and Helen just had a sour look on her face with her arms crossed.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's so finally, though, people ought to recognize finally the gloves are off, as they always ought to be. There's nothing like bare-knuckle debate. That's America. America is not forums. America is face-to-face. And if you can't take that, can't do that, you can't be mayor, you can't be governor, you can't be president. That's the way it works. That's the way it ought to work. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. You get a line. Now, my eye is also on Tallahassee today, Dan, and I know you're watching for me, because the House in Florida is poised, or they might already have voted, to ban abortion at 6 weeks, the so-called fetal heartbeat bill. And I've been reading the Florida news the last few days. DeSantis is all over this, and I don't get it. Tim Scott says his strategy is going to be to lock up evangelical voters. So I'll be asking throughout the show, these two with this type of approach versus Trump, are evangelical voters going to move away from Trump? What's the name? Scott has said he knows his way around the Bible, unlike some. And I love Tim Scott. But this idea that evangelical voters are not going to consider Trump because he's not religious, even in the slightest, I think is faulty. And I don't think Trump is going to get caught up in, as Ron DeSantis is now, in banning abortion at 6 weeks. That's insane. And any Republicans that is trying to do this is just setting us up for failure. That's where we are. You're little Mastrianos if you continue to do this. All right, phone lines right now are 855-839-1210, AT&T, and Verizon Wireless. You just push pound 1210. John McNesby at 1230. Today's side question, thank you, brought to you by Dr. Benz. Tip of the hat to Dan on this one. We were thinking the weather's much nicer today. Unbelievable. I even broke out the Dom summer collection, Dan, that you can see here.
Look at you. You look nice.
It's the
I like the short sleeves.
Yeah, it's the summer collection.
Go to
Rose
YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT Dining with Dom. You can see what we're both wearing right now.
Yeah, and we're not wearing. That's we skipped over spring.
We're doing a naked broadcast.
Yeah, there you go. We skipped over spring. All right. So, Dan, side question is something great you can do maybe on a Saturday in the area, maybe a day trip. I'll give you one. Luke took his two nephews and Roe a couple of Sundays ago to the Wolf Sanctuary.
What? Where's this?
In Lidditz, Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's a great one. I didn't know we had one close by.
And you see the wolves out there.
So were they able to get close up to the wolves?
I don't know how close. I didn't ask that kind of wolf knowledge, but yes, I assume it's pretty good.
You said DJ or Luke did this?
Luke did it.
Was Luke able to connect with his animalistic side?
Yes. Now, TJ's not going to Lidditz for the wolf sanctuary. You got the wrong.
Why not? I think DJ would enjoy some wolf company.
I don't think so. No, that's a Luke thing.
Your family, are they dog people?
Yeah.
Like,
but the cats, we've had great.
Well, I know
cats.
you got
Freddie,
cats.
Freddie, yeah. So, I recommend it based upon what the two nephews said and what Rose said and Luke said. So, Lidditz, Pennsylvania.
That's a great answer.
Yeah. So we're looking for something. It doesn't have to be a day trip. It could be something right here, outside the box as always. What's your number one answer?
I brought it up yesterday because there was the robbery of welding materials and equipments from what's a great museum that I just don't feel gets enough recognition here in the city, because we have some amazing museums. I don't want to take many off the board. But the Independent Seaport Museum down at Penn's Landing, Dom.
Yep.
I am always incredibly impressed when I go over there with what they got to offer.
And Ro did verify her Aunt Marie worked there. And I said, did 10 people come in any one day? She said, maybe on the weekends they might have reached double figures. Yeah. And they're robbing the Seaport Museum.
I can't believe it.
Hey,
why?
it's Krasner land. That's
Yeah.
why. Hey, Larry, did I tell you in the last 5 minutes you're still impeached? Just write that one down on the blackboard.
We're getting
You're
some
still
questions on the
impeached.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Minnie says that she likes my Philly shirt. I appreciate that. Also says, wondering if this hat I'm wearing today is the Transformers. It's a Travis Manion cap from our radio
Yeah.
fundraiser that we did.
Okay.
And finally, Dom, you have cats. I guess some listeners didn't know that you had cats.
Oh, yeah. Freddie the cat is
How
one
old's
of a
Freddie
kind.
now?
You know what? I'm not sure. I think he's 7. I have to ask Ro. Ro will text you if she's on her way home from something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something you might want to know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, just check out the Dom Giordano collection. I'm just saying we'll have a whole array dazzling tomorrow, too.
And you'll hear throughout the show, I think it's warm enough now to officially reboot the Yacht Rock version of the Dom show.
Okay. All right.
So we'll be slipping in
As
some
long
Yacht
as
Rock
we're
it
wearing
stays warmer
socks
out
with
here.
those Yacht Rock boat shoes. All right, it's 855-839-1210. Be the first one in with that. John McNesby here to talk about this endorsement, where the mayor's race go. The gloves are off big time. And we'll see before the end of the show. Does Florida vote to ban abortion? One house has. Now, will the lower house? Apparently, they're going to do it overwhelmingly. There are some Republicans who are saying, no, this is a mistake for the party. Yes, it's a huge mistake. And I don't know what the heck Ron DeSantis is thinking. What do you think he's thinking by being all over this? It's a bad move. 855-839-1210. All right, let's talk about my friend and board-certified prosthodontist. That's Dr. Robert Bentz of the Bentz Dental Group in East Norriton. You hear about dentists all the time. You can have a great dentist, true, but it's important to know that difference, that all-important difference between a regular dentist and a board-certified prosthodontist. One, takes several exams over years to become board-certified. Fewer than 1% of dentists nationally are board-certified prosthodontics. And a board-certified prosthodontic, that's the one who can design a customized plan for long-term great oral health care, give you the smile you've always dreamed of. Dr. Bentz, I'm seeing him on Wednesday just to check up on the latest stuff over there. He says if something's bothering you, get a look-see. If you don't have a great dentist, prosthodontist, Dr. Bentz, the dental implants that he can do, that on-site digital lab, and a great staff, it's very convenient, top of the line to work for you. Make that initial appointment now. Go to the website, Bentz, B-E-N-T-Z, dentalgroup.com, bentzdentalgroup.com, or call 610-272-6949.
Rich Zioli. Before the meme makers go off on me. No one is coming for anyone's
Just looking during that break at the actual document where Larry Krasner is trying to stop Kevin Doherty from Philadelphia, Johnny Doc's brother, nonetheless, from sitting in on this, all these appeals of various sorts around his impeachment. Just it never ends. It never ends. Thank you, Larry. You're still impeached. 855-839-1210.
Just a reminder.
You get a line. I have Robert Kennedy's, and I'll tell you this, Dan, you should be able to get this once I narrow it down. It is a major Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in one poll is getting 10% of Democrats to take on Joe Biden. So the vaccine stuff is pretty potent. That's not bad for a guy who I think is a nutbag. Who is it? It's a major pro athlete that is the first endorser of RFK Jr. Who do you think it might be?
Kyrie Irving?
That's a good one.
No?
That would not be as good of an endorsement. Bigger than Kyrie Irving by
Aaron
far.
Rodgers?
Yes.
Oh, I got it right.
Yes.
Hey.
Aaron Rodgers is the guy. Now, on this, do you want Aaron Rodgers' endorsement?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But look, I know we're going to take some heat from it. Shows you the potency of this. Look, the authoritarianism, the petty tyranny of the mask, the overkill on vaccines, the weaponizing of it, all real. But research RFK Jr. a little bit more, and you'll see the baggage that's there. He's apparently a big proponent of Bitcoin, too, among other things.
Huh.
Yeah, you're buying Bitcoin from this guy. So he's doing well, though. He's gotten that endorsement. And he's also, in his first poll that's out, it's only Marianne Williamson on it. Biden.
Oh, she's back?
Yeah, she's back.
Oh.
So it's the Crystals lady, it's RFK Jr., and Joe Biden. Which one is the most deranged out of that? That's a tough, well, I'd say Biden, because the others are just kind of silly. He's dangerous. All right. That's the Democrat field now. RFK Jr., Marianne Williamson, and Joe Biden. Wow. That's a stunning. Sure, the founding fathers are saying that's exactly what we were figuring out when we crafted and we went shoeless in the cold at Valley Forge.
Yeah.
Thank God Joe Biden's president.
Gavin Newsom hops in at some point, right?
No, I don't think Biden's running, so I don't see how he can. I don't think he's going to challenge the sitting president. That's, he's got time. He's going to let it go. Next round will be Gavin Newsom. Yes. He ought to just give hair tips from now. His hair has changed too. When I had him in studio, it's not as light as it is now. Yeah. Using some different hair products. Yeah. He's quite an operator, though. All right, let's go to some callers now. This is a great Dan production today for the side question. Something that would be great fun, something to do, something in our area.
Or like the Matthew McConaughey now.
He looks like Matthew McConaughey a little bit, yeah.
It's no longer the pompadour. It's
it does look a little bit like that. Something that, doesn't even have to be a day trip. It could be right here in Philadelphia. All right, let's start off with Fran in Philly on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Fran, thanks for being first in. What's something really good to do on a Saturday?
The top of Billy Penn. How many people have never been there?
I didn't know you could go.
And it's a beautiful view of the city.
Yes. I don't think I've done the top of Billy Penn. I've done the top of a couple of other things, Dan, and I've heard good things about the top of Billy Penn.
Oh, I've taken our grandchildren there. It's beautiful.
All right, Fran, nice start, Dan. It's exactly in the category where you were going.
You can, I guess, ride up an elevator to the top of the tower.
You can. Yeah, exactly right. I don't know if Ricky Mariano's listening. He went to the top of the Billy Penn or somewhere around there when he was resigning from office. It was quite a spectacle.
Can I throw another one out there?
Yes.
Right across the river from us, we're at 24th and Market. There's the Sierra Green. I don't know if you know about that.
No.
But it's a park on top of a building that looks over the Schuylkill River. It's absolutely beautiful to sit up there. We actually went up there and they were projecting one of the Phillies games onto the side of the building.
Right.
So you can sit up on top of the building inside a park. There's a bar there as well. watch a sports game looking over the city. It's just a pretty cool experience.
Very nice. By the way, I think the Phillies made a mistake during free agency with one of their, when you mentioned watch a ball game bar there.
Yeah.
What is his name? Matt Strom. Guy had to work on his fastball. He tells ESPN he doesn't like it that the Phillies and others are willing to sell beer up to, I'm not sure if it's up to or after the 7th inning, Dan, that alcohol is a problem. Yeah, he doesn't think that's a good thing with the fans. What the heck?
Yeah.
Where are these guys come? Who does he think makes enough money to pay? What's he making a year probably? And this guy's like a mediocre. I bet he's a $10 million a year pitcher, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, I mean, last year, Alec Boehm had some things to say about the fans of Philadelphia, and it went really negative for him, but then he was able to turn it around, and now I'd argue that he's one of the fan favorites.
he is. Yeah. Well,
So maybe this guy can do the same thing.
I don't know.
Bad start here in Philadelphia.
Once you attack beer, it's Pat Gillespie, Dan. I think you may have it in there, and you can find it in your sound. Jim just reminded me. Pat Gillespie, it was the head of the building trades, and he told me that alcohol is poison. Wow, that was a stunning moment there. A tough, head of the building trades, Irish guy telling me that alcohol is poison. Oh, that was, it took me aback a little bit. By the way, Anheuser-Busch, I was right the other day. Since March 31st, shares of Bud Light's parent company have fallen by nearly 4%, knocking the company's market capitalization from $132 billion to $127 billion. The stock fizzled by more than 1.5% on Wednesday. You know what that's about? That's about Dylan Mulvaney. That's about all the nonsense that went on around that. And they are taking a huge hit, and I think it's going to continue, and they deserve it. Coming up, John McNesby, right in the center of the news. Big endorsement of Jeff Brown, who announced it today from the FOP. If you think public safety is the number one issue in this election, which it is without a doubt, well, then who better than the FOP to endorse what you would do as mayor? The Inquirer, of course, noted public safety experts. They don't think so. That's all straight ahead here on Talk Radio 1210. Let me tell you, I got the good word yesterday from Ken Chase, my buddy over at Conservative Tours, that people are signing up. Dan, Frank Canal had a great insight today. He said in one day, so many people signed up yesterday. Maybe their taxes are done. They've survived Joe Biden, and now they're ready to go to Italy. That may be the case, but now's the time to act because we're leaving this summer. Rome, Florence, Tuscany, Milan, the stunning Lake Maggiore at the foot of the Alps. And, of course, the romance of Venice. I'm saving that for last with Roe. Thank you, Catherine, for telling us about that. And Italy is the most revisited country in the world. Now, these guys do it right. This isn't any tourist traps that we stay. These are authentic hotels of note. I know we did this tour with them before, luxury hotels and sumptuous dinner feasts. Great wine, great company, and the food is enormous. Conservative Tours has a plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. This is some of the world's greatest cuisine, art, culture, fun. You'll visit the medieval villages like Orieveto, an authentic balsamic farm. Soak up the warm afternoons rolling across the back roads of Tuscany. And did I mention the wine? Yes. All this for $52.67, including your airfare. You get the Colosseum, Michelangelo's David, the Vatican, everyone's favorite, that magical romantic Venice. Give them a call at 888-733-9494, 888-733-9494, or go to conservativetours.com. And I'll see you in the Sistine Chapel. All right, who would play John McNesby if we had the wire here in Philadelphia? Dom Giordano's show. John is with us, president of the FOP here on Talk Radio 1210. John, it would have to be somebody with a comedic touch, I think.
Yeah, right. How about that? How you doing, Don?
Very good, John. And we were piecing together, and finally, the grand moment came today. And of course, the Inquirer all over it to attack it. Your endorsement, the FOP's endorsement of Jeff Brown. So why Jeff Brown?
Well, first of all, if the Inquirer is attacking it, that just makes me know we made the.
What happened there, Dan?
I don't know. For some reason, the phone's not working here.
Oh, I think they had a problem earlier. You want to bring them up? I'm sorry about that. All right, we're back with John. So, John, reasons for Jeff Brown?
I mean, when you have the collective people that are running, and it's a crowded field, you look at who was on council and what they've done for the police, and that's absolutely nothing. You look what they've done for the community in their decades in council, and that's absolutely nothing. All of a sudden, they're going to fix the potholes and everything else. It's going to magically change. But Rebecca Reinhardt, in that report, she said that we had a say in that report, which we did not. She said that she had showed us the report prior to releasing it. She did not. So she is not credible. And Jeff Brown sought our endorsement last year. He came out, he spoke with us. We've met a few times in private. We're not going to always agree, but we need to have a seat at the table. He's guaranteed us that, to treat us with respect, make sure that we're funded the way we need to be, to put a police commissioner in place that knows exactly what they're doing, and to make sure that we get the ranks. We fill the ranks and we get the folks out there to protect the community. And he's guaranteed us that he would take on Krasner head to head. So that's something that we needed to hear, and we're hoping that he gets in, and we're going to make sure that we do our part in putting people on the street, getting money out there and doing what we need to do in the community, wherever it may be. We're going to coordinate with this campaign, and hopefully he pulls this out.
Well, John, let me ask you, not that you're mayor, but if you were aware, when he told you he's going to take Krasner on head to head, the major thing I can see a mayor do is the bully pulpit part of calling this guy out day after day and doing it in a way that is inescapable. I also think, wanting aid from the federal government on these cases to go around Krasner when he just won't prosecute gun crimes. But what's your sense? What can a mayor do that you think would be reasonable to take on Krasner?
I think that's good what you're saying about the guns, but I think we start to also just the simple things like retail theft. People don't want to open businesses here. We see Wawa's closing,
right.
Target's closing, different places where they can't make any money.
But John, sorry to interrupt though. What can the mayor do is what I'm asking. I have my thoughts. Go ahead.
And I got that. He could be out there. He can go to Harrisburg. He can request some gun law changes, whether that's going to work or not. But it's just once one door slams in your face, you got to go to another. He can use that bully pulpit. He could work maybe better with the new attorney general in there now. They just can't take a case, which is some people think they could just scoop a case up. There has to be a direct conflict, or it has to be given to them. So there's a lot of different things, and maybe withhold the funding to the DA's office on certain things until he comes around. But we got a little bit of ways left for his next election, whether he runs or not. But hopefully, nobody wants to start out and drawing a line in the sand and having a fight. Maybe we could work together. I don't know. But the retail theft, the guns, way too much. Too many people on the street that shouldn't be.
Right.
And like I say, it's not a lot of people committing a lot of crime. It's those small amount that know that there's no repercussions that's going to take place with them doing what they do.
I think you're smart to bring up retail theft for this reason. The gun thing and all, it's overwhelming to people. I don't think they connect the dots. But when you tell them you're allowed to steal up to a certain amount, or as several have documented, John, it might be, say, in Center City, as few as 50 people doing all that theft. It might even be 25 that are constantly doing it. The average person gets angry about. They can identify with that. Right.
And they have to identify with it, because you can't walk down an aisle in a Walmart or a Target or wherever it may be without having to find somebody that works there to unlock the toothpaste or unlock the razor blades or unlock the deodorant. People are getting tired of it, and rightfully so. You go right outside the city to Neshaminy, to Ben Salem, or out to the main line, you don't have to worry about that stuff because they actually do their jobs and put people that are doing this stuff in jail. And it sends a message. It really does.
John, one of the things the Inquirer insists on again today, and a number of these candidates, they're claiming they didn't defund the police. Maybe you can explain why they did.
Well, I mean, anybody that believes that should be on Mars. They turned around whatever reform package, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent, against the police, they voted for. That's cutting the budget, not bringing any more police recruits on. Number two is this driving equity bill. They all banged their chest and thought that was the greatest thing. Third of all, they voted, no other city union but the FOP, they voted to stick their nose in our contract and have public approval on what we do behind the scenes. That failed in court. So that's defunding the police. No matter what, it was the police's fault from 20, 21, and 22. So now it's starting to come back around. They're starting to see what they did to ruin this city. And that's all of them. Dom, Sherelle Parker, Helen Gim, and the rest of them that are running. Derek Green, Maria Cuomo Sanchez, before she dropped out, she was fixing Kensington. She was there for 4 terms. She didn't do a damn thing. So, I mean, there's things there that can be done, and you took it out on the police. It was the police's fault. And when they got caught or called on the carpet, they pointed at the cops, or they pointed at, everybody but themselves. Well, now they have to answer for it.
Well, the way I summarize this, my headline, John, is if public safety is the number one issue, we know it is the number one issue. Even the Inquirer agrees with that. Then the endorsement of the people who are experts, cops, FOP, police department, that ought to carry a lot of weight.
Let's hope so. I mean, it's not only our FOP. They got, I believe he got SEPTA Police. I believe Temple University, Penn Police. So law enforcement is sending a message that we need somebody in there that's going to support us to help us keep the community safe. And that's the message we have to get out there. I mean, if you want the status quo, vote for one of these people that have been on council for a while. But if not, let's give this guy a shot and see what he can do. He's a businessman. He's smart. You're not going to agree with everything he does, but it's going to turn things around, we believe.
John, you said you got a guarantee he's going to try to take on Krasner in various ways. Anything else that Jeff Brown has agreed to that you can tell us?
Well, I mean, as far as him being open, he guaranteed us we would have a seat at the table. If we need to get a hold of him, we can call him and get a hold of him. Not right now. I mean, we got to go. It's like that movie or that show, Get Smart, when you were a kid growing up. You got to go through 9 doors to try and get to the mayor. I mean, right now we can't. There's no communication, and the only people suffering are the public. He's guaranteed us that. He's guaranteed us a fair contract. He's guaranteed us to increase the roles of the Philadelphia Police Department, which we need, and to give some bigger retention and hiring bonuses for those that are out there to keep the people here rather than have the outside jurisdictions, taking our folks once they're trained. We need to keep the people here. Equipment, bring the equipment back where it needs to be. Building conditions are atrocious. They talk about schools being atrocious, and I get it, they're kids. We know some places that we have are really, really bad, and they're in disrepair and they need help. So it's a slow moving process, but I think, we are getting some things done with this administration, but they need to continue on. We need to make sure that, our guys and girls are safe coming to work, and they'll be able to have enough people out there to keep the community safe.
All right, John, thank you. It's long awaited. I'm finally glad we got the endorsement out there. Good to see it.
All right, man. Take care.
Take care, John. Thank you. Have a nice weekend. All right, John McNesby, FOP, with us here on Talk Radio 1210. We'll see how it plays out. The Inquirer already gone after it, and this is, I kind of see it that Jeff Brown has been on the ropes the last few days, even though I didn't think the Chester remark, well, Chester's Chester, that part was a little bit. But what he said is, hey, people don't like trash. Whoever gets the trash is not going to like it. I'm looking out for Philadelphia. Kind of like that in a mayor.
Yeah.
Shouldn't mayors? What would Jim Kenney say? Well, I'm looking out for Chester. No, I'm looking out at Wegmans here and the guy buying wine bottles, and I'm going to make that dumb analogy about guns again. Can you imagine the parting news conference with Jim Kenney talking about his legacy? Oh, my goodness. I got to get my press credential for that. First question, legacy? That's what you'd like to call it? All right, 855.
Do you agree with the endorsement? Like, do you think it was smart after hearing all of McNesby's justification and reasoning to go with Brown over the other candidates?
I think that someone like Al and Dom, they reasonably, but Al and Dom criticized them on pensions and said their pensions were too rich publicly. And I think he did it there at the FOP, Dan. That's a hard
I just
thing
look
to
at someone like Dom, and he's lean
Right.
conservative as a Democrat. And when
Right.
you're working in a city council where you have,
Right.
such progressive
Mhm.
individuals, you have to essentially abide by the
Right.
flow to a degree. And
Right. Well, we know there was one person who wanted the endorsement but wouldn't show up because they were afraid a picture would be taken.
yeah, I don't
I mean,
get that.
that's hard to believe. That's Philadelphia for you. All right. Give us a side question today. Give us that thing you could do on a Saturday with the family, friend, whatever it might be. We've given you some good ones. 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board.
You see Jim's question up there? I think it's a great question to ask you.
Nah, he won't come on.
Yeah, no.
Nah, I think he's
So
too big of a
Jim,
kid.
our a producer says, do you think Mayor Kenny might
Yes.
come on once he's out of office?
I know from a very reliable source, he said, I'm not worthy of it. That's what he told the guy.
Really?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Can you imagine?
Do
Yeah.
you think he makes money on a tell-all?
No, what's he
No?
going to tell?
I just
What do we want to know about Jim Kenny? Oh, my God. His biggest decisions,
Well, I think he's Pinocchio to Soros's Geppetto to a degree, similar to Krasner, and I'd love for the guy just to look at
Oh, I
himself in
see.
the mirror, be honest with himself, break away from that, quit politics, and explain what happened.
Well, just picture this, though. Look at the qualified people running for mayor this time. And when he first ran for mayor in 2015, it was just a guy, Tony Williams, who just had nothing, Dan. That was it. That was his whole opposite. Oh, well, it was Milton Street who said he was going to stop kangaroos from going in trash cans in Philadelphia. Actually said that during debate. Kangaroos. Only in Philadelphia. Look it up. It was a great quote. That would have been a help. I don't want kangaroos going in my trash cans. Yes. Oh, God.
That was so
Oh,
good.
yes. Yes. Let's hope Helen Gim is not the new mayor. What a double play that would be. Hey, water quality is so frequently in the news. We talked about it with you on the air a couple weeks ago when we had all this difficulty. Here's something that's going to really help you not have to worry about that kind of stuff. Get great peace of mind that you're doing the very best to get drinking water in your home for you and your family that's clean and pure. Do what I did a few years back. Trust all that to Martin Water Conditioning. Because for over 50 years, the Martin family has put their passion for clean water to work for their customers. They are water experts. And my Connecticut system from Martin Water guarantees that only crystal clear, all natural water flows from my tap. It tastes great, provides peace of mind knowing it's clean and fresh. Right now is their customer appreciation sale. Save up to 20% off on a Connecticut installation or save $100 off a K5 reverse osmosis from Connecticut. And they're offering a $100 trade-in rebate on a Connecticut system. Their knowledge and expertise is unmatched. The way they come out, it's pure passion and joy to show you. Dom, here's the water. Here's the Connecticut system. Look at the difference, the impurities that were taken out. Highest integrity, dedication, incredible customer service. Visit martinwater.com or call 800-887-7555. 800-887-7555. Dom Giordano Show. So I know this is the week Americans, many people, mailing out their tax returns, IRS, all that stuff. We know about the 87,000 IRS agents. We're unclear whether they were able to hire that many. But listen to this report. Just another example of what the Biden administration is up to, because they need money to continue to fund this addled man's crazy dreams of being an historic president. Apparently, it's a new IRS rule. Here's a report from CBS News.
I was supposed to have a house call today.
Monica Colburn helps run a Virginia hair salon. But like a growing number of Americans, she uses the flexible hours to earn some extra cash.
How many different side hustles do you have?
I think last year I had 8 1099s.
She works weddings and promotes musicians, collecting most of her income through payment apps like Venmo.
If I didn't have multiple ways that somebody could pay me, I feel like I would lose business.
The apps are easy to use, but starting next year, filing taxes for millions of people could become trickier. A new IRS rule will require anyone earning more than $600 on payment apps in 2023 to receive a 1099-K form. The old threshold was earning $20,000 over 200 transactions.
This is not a tax law change. This is just a reporting requirement for those third parties like Venmo, PayPal, and the credit card companies.
The IRS expects an initial surge of 4 million of these forms next year, which it says it can handle.
But there are businesses concerned handling all the paperwork from this change could be like taking on a whole nother job in and of itself.
Businesses like Dennis Turbeville, a Maryland furniture maker, takes nearly all of his payments through apps and worries he'll make a mistake when the government is asking for its cut.
A $2,500 penalty for a business that's doing $2 million a year, not a big deal. For somebody like me, that's a big deal.
The IRS says money exchanged between friends shouldn't be taxed and warns users to classify those transactions as personal, not goods and services. Scott McFarland, CBS News, Alexandria, Virginia.
All right. All of this, what's driving this? This maniac president and these people that tell him you're going to be an historical president. They want more and more money. And they don't want it, as they try to pretend, Joe Biden, when he's not telling us about Kevlar vest on deers and shooting at them, he's telling us about the billionaires getting away with murder. Did those people sound like that? Or did they sound like people who are just living under this petty tyranny day to day, more paperwork, more nonsense to have to do? Toward what point? Toward the all-knowing, all-encroaching government to get their cut, to get more and more money, to give it to people that don't deserve it. The typical progressive game plan. It is, so I'm just watching him this morning, Dan. The Irish president had to physically take Biden and put him into the spot they were telling him to take the picture. He's moving him around like he's a mannequin. I guess Jill was unavailable. She was in a pub or something there in Ireland. It's just endless.
Weekend at Biden.
Yeah, weekend at Biden's has been gone for a while. Coming up, not just Budweiser, but one that is even more testosterone driven, in my view. This liquor group facing a boycott over 2021 drag queen campaign calendar. I'll tell you who that entity is and who wins on this. The drag queen push to normalize this, the companies that are saying, well, we got to do this, or the people who are saying, no, we're not going to buy your product. The NBA playoffs are here, and you can turn crossovers into cash, and FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, will help you do that. Just visit FanDuel.com/Dom right now. Place a $5 bet. You'll get an instant $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. They have great promotions every day. Dan, what's the line on the Sixers? What's the line on how many points Ben Simmons will score in this playoff series? I'd like to take a negative 5,000 that he's going to cost somehow or another. Sixers play at 1 o'clock on Saturday. Can't miss for me. And FanDuel is a great place to go. Yeah.
8.5 is a spread.
I'm taking the Sixers. This team's got to be crushed right out of the box.
Over under at 215.
215. I'm taking the under.
You're taking the under?
Yeah, I'm taking the under.
And then let's to score 40 plus points. How about Joel?
Is that straight up? What do you get? What are the odds?
It's plus 280. I'm building a same game parlay right now.
First game, 40 points. Yes, I would take that for plus 280.
So $10 for 76ers to beat the spread under 215, and Joel to score over 40 points. Bet $10, win $133.
All right, Ro, bet that. You're at home right now. You got all that from Dan. Mark that down on my FanDuel account. You'll really like the FanDuel app. You can just go to FanDuel.com/Dom, sign up to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet that first $5. FanDuel is the official sports betting partner of the NBA. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.